Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. My name's David and this is my channel. Today's video I have called The Law of Cause and Effect. The laws are what it's all about. You know, when I started this spiritual awakening journey, there was a feeling of, of this idea of God outside and wondering, how can I find this part and get it to love me? And this feeling of searching for Jesus, and I did, and I read a lot of material from Yeshua, channeled material that is recent from him, and I didn't understand a lot of it, and the Course in Miracles, and it turned out that it was very different than I thought. I started listening to Abraham Hicks, and I started realizing that this journey is way more about the idea of physics, the idea of almost science and vibration and energy, than it is about that feeling of being saved by something angelic, so to speak. And I started realizing that this was really about learning who we actually are, not about leaving this place or trying to change the earth itself, but actually trying to, or rather, changing our perspective of earth and understand it more from a vibrational place, an energetic place, uh, and then the world itself will shift and change. And from that perspective, I started realizing that the world was inside me. It wasn't out there like I thought. It was really all about what was inside my mind. That this is a journey of shifting my mind. And my mind was split, and it was serving two masters. As Jesus said, you cannot serve two masters. And what was happening, it was serving two, and it was split. Now, what does that mean? It means that it was, serving the idea of life and flow and excitement and somewhat joy and happiness, but it was also serving the idea of death and loss and lack and worry and fear. And therefore, I was being pulled into two different places. And that's the feeling of positive and negative living together. This ability, this belief that they can be together, and we're kind of serving positive sometimes and negative other times, and being pulled down into both. And it was just like tearing me apart. And once I understand that, it became a little easier. Now, one of the things that I've recognized is that this world is your effect. This body is my effect. Now, effect and cause need to be understood completely, because an effect is what's coming back, not what going out. So the feeling of cause and effect, that what goes out comes back. We, each one of us, and what I learned about myself is I am a cause. That means I am a creator. I'm giving things meaning. The world out there is an effect. The body is an effect. People's personalities, believe it or not, everything we think about people, even what we think about our own self or about what we think about God, is an effect. We are creating it. We have the ability to give whatever meaning we want to anything and everything. So there is effects coming back in your life, and that is law. It's always coming back in the form of physical manifestation. Now, the cause is the meaning that we give those effects. So I started learning that what's happening is that the world's coming in, it's unfolding in a neutral way. It doesn't have any meaning because it doesn't have its own cause. It's an effect, and an effect, by definition, has no cause of its own. It's only an effect of a cause. You have to kind of sit with that. Hopefully that makes sense. So this world is only an effect because it doesn't create its own cause. This means that not one thing out in your life, in your physical manifested world, has its own meaning, including the people in your life. And this is the most important thing to understand. Every person you know has no meaning of their own. Everything you know has no meaning of its own. And you have to sit with this. I sat with this a lot until I really understood its truth. That even the people in my life had no meaning. They were indeed effects. That means that my mind was giving meaning to every single thing. Every single thing. And this can be hard to see, but take it through faith. Because the more you do and the more you see that you are absolutely giving meaning, not just to this jacket, not just to the different sounds that I hear or what I think clouds are or how I perceive the sun, but also how I perceive the people in my life, including my wife, including my family, do you see, including my students, and even including my own body, mind, and how I see myself in this temporary personality or in this body. So we are giving meaning to everything, and it's coming from our mind. As it comes in, it is neutral. Now, from this perspective, I realized that the journey was very clear, that it was not about changing the effects. You cannot change the effects because they are what they are. By the time they come in, as Abraham Hicks would say, it's like chewed up bubble gum. It's already lost its flavor. It's already done, 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 done. So the world and all the effects, including, once again, all the people in my life and situations and circumstances, were the past. It's all past. And once I realized it was all past, then I realized that the cause was where the journey really is. And the cause is now, 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 now. And what is now? How you feel. What is now? How you feel about the world. What is now? What meaning you're going to give the effects in your life. So that means I get to give everything meaning as it comes in. Now, this could be difficult because we're giving this meaning in such a way, so unconsciously, that absolutely Bill or Daphne or Jill, I know I got these funny names, I believe their personalities are indeed coming from them and not me. I get that. That's the mirror we hear so much about. The mirrors reflecting back different personalities from your brothers and sisters that you believe have nothing to do with you. That is them, including the people on the news and the people you like and the people you don't like, and yet none of it's true. It's all coming from each one of us. I've given, those are my personalities. And if I don't like them, and if I see unwanted things in this world, then it's coming from me. And I started asking myself, why do I see this or this person in a way that I don't like? Why am I seeing them from a perspective of they're not good enough, or they should be doing better, or why did they do that, or so forth and so on. And then I started realizing, well, they were reflecting back that part of me that feels like I'm not doing good enough, that I'm failing at what I'm doing, or I could be doing better. Anyone feel that? That world out there and those personalities that we have created are consistently reflecting back and pointing back to us that part. That's the part. And I said, that's the ego, or that's, you can give it a name. That's that's that part. That's the fearful part of me. You see? That's the part that I have created inside my mind, that everything in the world that I don't like and all the unwanted things, regardless of what they are, things, places, people, doesn't matter. They reflect by pointing back to the part that created them. And there's that part, boom, that ego part of me that it's pointing back to each time I feel that unwanted part in my energy. Does that make sense a little bit? That's the cause of their effect. And that's when I realized that every effect in your life is always going to point back to the cause. And that's the key, because you need to be able to see, we need to be able to see that there is indeed a cause that is running. It's like a pre-programmed cause or meaning part of us that is giving the world meaning unconsciously. And it's given it a meaning in such a way that it makes it unwanted. So it's created unwanted meanings with your effects or people, places, things, objects, doesn't matter, in your life. And then it comes back to us and makes us feel uncomfortable. But in reality, it's just letting us know that that cause, that part of us, is there. Cause and effect. So how do we let go of it? One, by recognizing that truth. Can you look at all the unwanted things that are going on in your life and recognize that they only make you feel really, truly one way? Fearful. But mostly like I'm doing something wrong. Can you feel it? That person's reminding me that I'm doing something wrong. And if you say they're doing something wrong, you'll feel like you're doing something wrong. You see, it's just this reflection war. Everything comes back to the same thing. I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong. I feel like I'm making a mistake. And then the question that I offer over and over again is, to who are you doing something wrong? Who? Where's this part that says you're making mistakes? Because I recommend study that, because you'll never find it. And once I realize that I'm really not making any mistakes, and if I'm not making mistakes, they're not making mistakes. Where is this amazing, huge, massive entity that we have created that we seem to be failing on a regular basis, all of us? And when I realized I couldn't find it, then I realized there must be another cause. And what is that cause? Well, that is thy will be done. We've heard this, thy will be done. What does that mean? That means there's another master to serve. That's the Holy Spirit, the holy part of us, which is an energy, which is a vibration of love. God is love. The ego is fear. And these are the only two decisions we'll ever make. We continue to serve that voice, that feeling, that entity of fear that we have given all our power to, therefore reflecting back to us in our own effects, that it must be there, the cause is still there, creating it. Or we let go of this and we start serving the holy part of us, the whole part of us, the love part of us, the joy part of us, the flowing part of us. But that's an intentional switch. Intentionally, I'm going to find something positive here because I want to serve that part of me. And I literally started saying this. I want to serve you. I want to serve that holy part of who I am. I want to serve the most loving part of who I am. And I want to extend that love out into my effects. Because I want to give all those people, all those personalities I've created, all those objects and things and places a second chance. And I want to create them differently. I want to see them differently because they deserve it. The people in my life deserve it. The people in this world deserve it. My effects, my creations, the Father's creation that I have been gifted deserves to be loved by me and not hated by something I created, something I made, or something I inherited. This belief system that's not true. It doesn't give people a second chance. That's it. You've made a mistake. It's done. No, give them a second chance. Give them a third chance. How many times, when Jesus was asked, how many times do I forgive? What did he say? There is no stopping it. Give them a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh. You see, they deserve it. Our brothers and sisters deserve only unconditional love. This world deserves to be loved and appreciated and enjoyed. And that's that part. Our holy self, that Holy Spirit, is giving them umpteen amount of chances to learn how to walk on their own. You see? Like Abraham Hicks would say, if you see a baby crawling on the ground and they're trying to walk and they fall, we don't say, get up, you dummy. You're so stupid. You're never going to get this. We say, no problem. Keep going. Keep going. And that's all this is. All of us learning how to walk, learning how to vibrate, learning how to control this massive power, this God that we are, and making tons and tons of what we would call mistakes along the way. But we give them another chance and another chance and another chance, you see, through unconditional love, because that's what the Holy Self is doing all the time. So I give them different meaning. I will love you unconditionally. I will find joy in you unconditionally. I will find something that I love about you, something I like about you. Do you see? And now we switch one for the other. No longer will I condemn, because what I condemn comes back to me. And as I punish with my mind and attack others, as this ego has tried to get me to do, then I punish and attack myself and my body in the form of resistance. You see, I've learned insistence points to only one thing, an insistence that this is true, that there is guilt and not innocence, that there's not second and third and fourth and fifth chances, which is not true. So I let go of the insistence. And when I let go of the insistence, I let go of the resistance upon myself. And as you love and you love and you love and you appreciate, guess what? It comes back to you. You get to experience it. You get to experience it. So as I give new meanings to my creations, it comes right back to me. Because as before, my effects were always pointing back to the cause that created them. And now those effects are pointing back to the loving cause that are creating them. You see? And now the world shifts. It starts and ends with each one of us. It will always be that way. Which meaning are you going to give your creations? Thank you guys for allowing me to share this clarity, as always, to receive it back from myself. Much love to each one of you. Hit the like button, subscribe, keep sending comments, and as always, my unconditional love and appreciation.